जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे। जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 श्रील प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समवेत भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतोपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं स्वाग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते स्वारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं। सर्वशस्त्राब्धिपीयूष सर्ववेदैकसत्फल सर्वसिद्ध्यान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदिक्प्रदः। So we shall read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 36 and 37. Okay, 37 is written on the yeah. So let me read 36 first. Satam kṛta-mala-snānāṁ bibhrajantīm apūrva-vat ātmano bibhratīṁ rūpam saṁvīta-rucira-stanīm. Text 37. vidyādharī-sahasreṇa sevyamānāṁ suvāsasam jāta-bhāvo vimānaṁ tad ārohayad amitra-han sata vidyādharī-sahasreṇa sevyamānāṁ su-vāsasam jāta-bhāvo vimānaṁ tad ārohayad amitra-han sat vidyādharī-sahasreṇa sevyamānāṁ suvāsasam jāta-bhāvo vimānaṁ tad ārohayad amitra-han sevyamānāṁ su-vāsasam Mataji's vidyādharī-sahasreṇa sevyamānāṁ suvāsasam ārohayad amitra-han vidyādharī-sahasreṇa sevyamānāṁ suvāsasam okay, word meaning vidyādharī of Gandharva girls, Sahasreṇa by 1,000, sevyamānāṁ being waited upon, suvāsasam dressed in excellent robes, jāta-bhāvaḥ struck with fondness, vimānaṁ airplane like a mansion, tat that, ārohayad he put her on board, amitra-han or destroyer of enemy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. The sage could see that Devahūti had washed herself clean and was shining forth as though no longer his former wife. She had regained her own original beauty as a daughter of a prince, dressed in excellent robes, her charming breasts duly girded. She was waited upon by 1,000 Gandharva girls, a destroyer of the enemy. His fondness for her grew, and he placed her on the aerial mansion. Purport. Before her marriage, when Devahūti was brought by her parents before the sage Kardama, she was perfectly beautiful princess, and Kardama Muni remembered her former beauty. But after her marriage, when she was engaged in the service of Kardamuni, she neglected to care for her body like a princess. Since there was no means for such care, her husband was living in a cottage, and since she was always engaged in serving him, her royal beauty disappeared, and she became just like an ordinary maidservant. Now, after being bathed by the Gandharva girls, by the order of Kardamuni's yogic power, she regained her beauty, and Kardamuni felt attracted to the beauty she had shown before the marriage. The real beauty of a young woman is her breasts. When Kardamuni saw the breasts of his wife so nicely decorated, increasing her beauty many times, he was attracted. Even though he was great sage, Sripad Shankaracharya has therefore warned the transcendentalists that one who is after transcendental realization should not be attracted by the raised breasts of a woman, because they are nothing but an interaction of fat and blood within the body. Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Valapiyadanugrahat Tarennānāmatagraha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. Hare Krishna. I beg the blessings of all the assembled devotees so that I can do this service of repeating the teachings that I heard and learnt in this parampara coming down to Srila Prabhupada. And today's purport is like just now, as soon as I sat on the Vyasasana, Rameshwar Prabhu came and warned me that today's tough purport, and Prabhuji showered blessings also, gave Srila Prabhupada's prasad, Mahaprasad. So yes, we can see a wonderful section going on, Devahuti's lamentation, and the whole section, lamentation part will come later, but before that, the expansion of family life in various things we can see. So yeah, although this purport is a bit tough purport, yesterday I had the opportunity to speak in Bengali Bhagavatam class. So I'll try to repeat some of the things, bring some of the things from that class to make it easier for me. So basically whole section is going on as we can see amazing exhibition of mystic perfection. Kardamuni, the mystic sage and devotee of Lord. So let's read something from Srila Prabhupada. What did Srila Prabhupada say about mystic perfection? Asta Siddhis. Srila Prabhupada wrote in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 1. The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in number. Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Anima Siddhi. Modern scientific improvements also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many subways, penetrating the hills, etc. So Anima Siddhi, the mystic perfection of trying to enter into stone, has also been achieved by material science. Similarly, all of the yoga siddhis or perfections are material arts. For example, in one yoga siddhi, there is development of the power to become so light that one can float in the air or on water. That is also being performed by modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they are floating on the surface of the water, and they are traveling under the water. After comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists try for the same perfections. So actually there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. So a German scholar once said that the so-called yoga perfections had already been achieved by the modern scientists, and so he was not concerned with them. He intelligently went to India to learn how he could understand his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada is comparing all the mystic perfections with modern science achievements. But of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes that the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For instance, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called laghima. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Though the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships, they undergo many difficulties. Whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is prapti siddhi. So I heard a story of Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, who was very much respectful to sadhus, and he would invite different sadhus or whoever dressed as sadhus, invite them for lunch at his house and feed them, serve them. Many of them were devotees, many of them were like dressed as sadhus but not real sadhus. So Srila Prabhupada, Abhay, little Abhay, he was not impressed by them. He didn't like the idea, but his father was very much respectful. So okay. Then various yogis also would come. So once one yogi came, was invited by his father, and Abhay was looking at him. So that the yogi, he had mystic perfections, he asked Abhay, what do you want? Ask anything from me. So Srila Prabhupada, he heard somebody told him that the best pomegranate in the world you can find in Afghanistan, from Kabul. So Prabhupada said, I want freshly picked pomegranate from Afghanistan, from Kabul. The yogi closed his eyes, meditated, and he said, okay, go to your inner room. So Prabhupada went to the inside room, and he saw that on the table there was a whole branch of pomegranate tree, broken down just now freshly and placed on the table. And pomegranates are hanging from there. So Prabhupada took it. So this story I heard from one of the Prabhupada disciple, one Maharaj. So yeah, they have, so that's why Prabhupada is mentioning here. The yogis, they can sit in one place and they can extend their hand from thousands of miles, they can get anything, achieve anything. So the modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons with which they can destroy an insignificant part of this planet. But by the yoga siddhi known as Ishita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Another perfection is called Vashita. And by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism that is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vashita, mystic power, comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them and takes their money, then goes away. So there is another perfection which is known as prakamya or magic. By this prakamya power, by this power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eyes and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by this will, by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities. The highest perfection of mystic power is called kama vashaita. This is also magic. But whereas the prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, kama vashaita permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfection. Foolishly, people who are enamored of the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent people. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family and sex life. The people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. So basically Prabhupada gave a nice summary of all the 8 mystic perfections. There is another story, as Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur told that there was one yogi who left the village in his childhood. He went to Himalayas, he did his mystic sadhana, and he achieved some perfection, some siddhis. After many years, he is elderly now, so of course they roam around, they travel in the holy places. So on his way, he visited his village, birthplace. So most of the people were died by now, but some of his equals or maybe some seniors, they were still remaining. Everyone was so happy to see him, that enthusiastic and inquisitive. Where have you been all these years, all these decades? We thought that you are not alive. He said, okay, I was in Himalayas, I did mystic sadhana and I achieved some perfections. Okay, what all you have achieved? Can you show us? He said, yes, come with me. So he took them on the bank of the river and he walked on the river, walked on the water, almost like floating. He crossed over the river and again came back, returned back. Everybody was amazed, such a wonderful exhibition of mystic perfection. So there was one intelligent person, I think he was a devotee, and he said that you have wasted all your life just to achieve this 2 anna or 2 paisa perfection, 2 cents perfection. So what? 2 cent perfection? He said you did whole lifetime you have spent in doing this mystic perfection, and now you can cross over this river. The same thing I can achieve by paying 2 cents to the boatman. He will make me cross the river on boat. So what's the point? What's the use of doing this? So yeah, that's the thing. What all mystic perfections people or the yogis, actually that is very much alluring, or that is very much wonderful, amazing thing, yogic perfections that they do. Sometimes people, they might be attracted, or when we hear, we feel amazed. But we know in our mind that these are not possible, these are not achievable by us. So we don't attempt for it. How many of us here want mystic perfections? We don't want, because we know that we can't get them. It's almost like grapes are sour. If it would be possible for us, maybe we would try for that. Because we are trying for material sense gratifications. We are not able to resist bhukti vancha, desire to gratify our own senses. So what to speak of siddhi and mukti vancha? Siddhi, mystic perfections. Sometimes we think, okay, like yesterday, so I was giving this Bengali Srimad Bhagavatam, speaking on Bengali Srimad Bhagavatam class. I got a bit late, by 2-3 minutes. So I was thinking, this thing was going on in my mind, this mystic perfection, yoga, siddhi, all these things are. So I was running with my bike, my scooty. I was thinking, I wish if I would have some mystic perfection, I could just fly and immediately go to Bhagavatam class now. Or sometimes when, like kama vashayita, you can hypnotize anyone. So when we try hard to preach and people are not taking Krishna consciousness, if we wish we would have kama vashayita, we could hypnotize everyone and make them chant Hare Krishna. Or in places like people are spreading terrorism, in Bangladesh and other countries, warfare going on. So we wish we would have some mystic perfection and do amazing thing. Those who are terrorists, they are coming, make them like lame, or make them just make them dumb, handicapped, something like that. I heard someone was saying that in Assam, some part in Assam, Kamakhya, still tantra, mantra, these things are there, black magic. And there is one village, they call that if you go there, then they will make you a goat, turn into a goat. So So those things are there. Another place I heard that yeah, those things are there. They can khechari, dakini, they can hold of a tree branch and they can fly. All these siddhi tantra mantras are there. Tantra still there. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur encountered with one tantric, one siddhi. That person, he got some siddhi, and he was claiming himself as God. Ram Krishna Ram, Falgu Bhagavan. In the Devahuti serial you see. So people like amazed with those things. But we know from Srila Prabhupada's teachings that Hare Krishna Mahamantra has everything in it. Iha hoite sarva siddhi hoibe sobar, sarvakhon boloite vidhi nahi yar. You will get all perfection, all siddhis from Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now what if someone chants Hare Krishna with the desire to get some siddhis? If Krishna wants, Krishna can give. Pure devotees are not behind it, but automatically it might come. I think we have the appearance or disappearance day of Srila Madhvacharya in this month, coming up after a few days. I was reading the biography of Srila Madhvacharya, and he was on pilgrimage with his 200 sannyasi disciples. And then they were at one place, they were about to cross the river. And on the other side of the river, there was this Muslim Nawab, Muslim king's place. These Muslim kings told these boatmen that don't let the Hindus come this way. If you let them come or if you let them cross the river, then we will kill you. Something like that. So Madhvacharya came and Madhvacharya told the boatmen, okay, let us cross this river, we will pay you. He said, no, he said, we will pay you more. Extra money. Still he didn't agree. So what to do? And all these Muslim people were standing on the other side of the river. They were watching what is happening. Then what Madhvacharya did? He told all his sannyasi disciples to hold of each other's hand. And Madhvacharya hold one's hand and then walked over the river. Same siddhi. Of course, that was I read. So they were walking over the water of the river. And on the other end, that Muslim king, Muslim ruler, he got fainted by seeing this. So then again he came into consciousness. What is happening? So then he understood that this person is not an ordinary. So he helped him. Even he gave some of the soldiers to help him go all the way in his path so that nobody else disturbs them. Like that. In another place, something happened like some dacoits came, and then suddenly one of the sannyasi disciple of Madhvacharya, there are many, hundreds of dacoits came in the jungle that tried to rob Madhvacharya's party. And suddenly one of the sannyasi disciple, who was very humble, meek and very soft by nature, suddenly something happened with him. He became he got all the shakti of Bhima, and he became he fought with all 100 people alone, single-handedly, and he just defeated them. What happened? So then they realized that Madhvacharya, he empowered him. By the blessings of Guru, he got that shakti. So yes, by Guru Kripa, we can get, if it's needed, mystic perfection. So mystic siddhis, Krishna Bhakta Nishkamata eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Shakali Ashanta. Krishna Bhakta devotee does not want anything. But so that means Chaitanya Charitamrita says, a devotee does not want it, aspire for anything. That's why devotee is peaceful, Shanta. But so what to speak of those who are doing devotional service, practicing devotional service, but aspiring many things. That means we are not a bhakta, we are not a devotee according to the definition of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are not yet that type of devotee. Of course, we might be bhakta-bhas, avhas, aspiring to be a devotee, that we can say. But then, so we are not it's hard to resist. In fact, material. So in this purport, later part of the purport, what Prabhupada is talking about, the physical beauty of young women and all in this text also. So it talks about these things, this bhukti vancha, desire to enjoy in this material world. Of course, here it is vice versa. Same thing, it might go for, just like for men, the female body parts are attracting, similarly for women also, same thing might be, the attraction to each other. And nowadays, or not nowadays, it has been since ages, but more things are there. For some people, might be opposite sex, it might be same sex also, crazy things. So those things are going on. So this is bhukti vancha, desire for sense gratification. So we are unable to resist even this. What to speak of if we are offered some siddhi or some mukti vancha? We are reading the story of Kholavecha Sridhar in Navadip Dham. So Mahaprabhu called Sridhar. I said, Sridhar, so you beg whatever you want from me. You ask for whatever boon, benediction you want from me. He said, no, I don't want anything. He said, okay, let me give you some siddhis. He was saying in such a way that, okay, siddhis are kept on this table. Okay, you want to take some cookies? Some siddhis you would like? He said, no, Prabhu, would you like, you still want to deceive me? Sridhar bole, are Prabhu, ārohayad, you still want to deceive me? No, I don't want any of the thing. Okay, do you want, okay, why don't you take the position of Brahma? He said, no. Why don't you take Sarvabhauma, that sovereignty over all universes? No, I don't want that. So I just want that Prabhu, that Brahman boy who would come every day and quarrel with me and who would snatch that banana leaves and banana stems from me. I want that Brahman boy to be my Lord and Master life after life and come and do the same thing with me. So now Sridhar, he rejected this most amazing offer, proposal on planet Earth that could ever exist. That okay, why don't you take siddhis? He got direct proposal, offer from the Supreme Lord, he rejected it. Now just we can think, if we would be in the place of Sridhar, what would happen? Would we really reject that? Would we really reject? Now we might say, okay, I'll reject that. But again, grapes are sour. What if that would really happen in reality? If I said that I don't want to be the Prime Minister of India, me, Padmamukha Nimai Das, I have no desire to be the Prime Minister of India. It's funny. What is this? But if Mr. Narendra Modi say, no, I don't want to be Prime Minister of India anymore, I resign now. That's amazing. So that's wonderful. Everybody will be like discussing about that. But if I say I don't want, what is this? So when Prithu Maharaj says, oh, I don't want mukti, or Vritrasur says, I don't want siddhi, nanaka prishtam na cha paramestam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipattam na yoga siddhi rapunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahayyaka. I do not want nanaka prishtam or sarvabhaumam or rasadhipattam. I do not want the control over the Rasatala. I don't want the control over the entire universes, sovereignty, sarvabhauma pada, or I don't want siddhi. I do not want liberation, mukti, liberation from birth and death or this cycle. I do not want all this. Vritrasur, at what point he was saying all these things? When his legs were cut, hands were cut, his throat is being cut. At that time he is offering these beautiful shlokas. So we read all these verses in Bhagavatam. Vritrasur rejected mukti and siddhi. Prithu Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Kunti Devi, then everyone rejected mukti, siddhi, all this. We see, okay, we also reject. But in reality, we are not able to control our desire to gratify senses only. So bhukti and mukti, this specifically two things. Bhukti mukti spriha yavad pishachi ridi vartate tavad bhakti sukhasyatra katham abhyudhayo bhavet. Bhukti and mukti, these two pisha, these witches, as long as until these two are in our heart, Bhakti Devi, the goddess of Bhakti, cannot appear in our heart. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Nectar of Devotion, explains how, okay, whatever happiness, whatever sense gratification, happiness we can derive in this, let's say in India, or America, or entire planet, or entire this Prithvi Loka, Earth. 100 times multifold, like multiplied by that, we can get in heavenly planet, Indra Loka. What to speak of Indra Loka? Even you go to some other planetary system, not a planetary system, you go to some other Varshas, like Kim Purusha Varshas, Ilabrita Varshas, other Varshas, 9 Varshas are there. You cross the Himalayas and go to Kim Purusha Varsha and other Varshas. There also, they have 10,000 years of lifetime, and that too like youthful lifetime. Not that you become old and you wait for your death and suffer. No, youthful. Don't become, don't feel hunger. So that's called enjoyment. So even in other Bhusarga or below Sarga, you can get all these things. So what to speak of Indra Loka? And 100 times more than that in Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then 100 times more in Satyaloka, Brahma Loka. We can't imagine what bliss or what sukh or what happiness we can get in Brahma Loka. And 100 times more than that is merging into Brahman. Brahmananda. So Rupa Goswami says 3 types of happiness in nectar of devotion. Jarananda, material bliss. Then Brahmananda, merging into Brahman, and Aishwarika Ananda, bhakti. So we are not able to reject or resist this Jarananda, what to speak of resist Brahmananda. But in reality, so whatever we get in Brahmananda, it's 1,000 times more than this, whatever happiness we can even imagine in our wildest dream in this planet Earth. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Krishna Nam Ashwadone Je Ananda Sindhu Koti Brahma Sukha Nohe Taro Eko Bindu. If you chant the holy name, whatever bliss you can derive from that, Koti Brahma Sukha, billions of Brahma Sukha multiplied or aggregated, it cannot be one drop of that bliss derived from the holy name. That's what is the power of Bhakti Yoga. But for us, because we are not able to relish that bliss, so for us we cannot, like, for us, when we chant the holy name, our main focus is more than the chanting beings, we focus on the counting beats. How many rounds remaining? And like, how do I finish my 16 rounds? So that's our experience, or that's our reaction in chanting Hare Krishna. And when Rupa Goswami was chanting, Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadamvini Ghatayate Karnar Vyudebhyas Priham. Let me get billions and millions of ears, let me get billions and millions of tongue. I want to chant more. Cheta prangana sangini vijayate karnarbu devyas priham. So Rupa Goswami wrote this, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in, when he saw this, Mahaprabhu read it out. Mahaprabhu was so happy, he embraced Rupa Goswami. Haridas Thakur was standing there, he heard it, Namacharya, he became even ecstatic, he was dancing, jumping. So that was the experience or reaction of Rupa Goswami after chanting. The same Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we chant differently. That's the difference. Otherwise, Mahamantra is same. It's not going to change. There is no newer version of latest version of Mahamantra. Same thing. Just the thing that we need the taste. Name ruchi. So that's one thing, that happiness that we want or we imagine, we fantasize to derive from material senses is like right now is very much alluring to us. But we also see Villamangal Thakur, Shushtu Nishtivanam Tat, was spitting. He was spitting at it. Spitting at it. So that is what material Prabhupada is writing. Fat and blood within the body. Fat and blood within the body. So what to do? So okay, another thing I was thinking while reading this section is that Mother Devahuti, she had, of course, she was humbly and very faithfully she was serving her husband. But of course, she had a desire to have family life. Of course, family life, good, normal family life. It was a bit strange family life that they were having. Got married, and husband got set into meditation, and wife, like many years passed. So then, Kardamuni, he understood the desire and he manifested his exhibition of mystic perfections. So he was the yogi and he could do all these things, provide all these things. So if a yogi can provide all these things, can't Krishna provide us? Who is the master of all the yogis? So we have many desires, we want this, we want that. So everything can be provided by Krishna, just to depend on Krishna. Kama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradhi tibrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Our job is just to serve Krishna, and yoga kshemam baham, everything will be taken care by Krishna. Whatever is required will be taken care by Krishna, whatever is needed. There is a nice section in Chaitanya Bhagavat, one of my favorite section, discussion between Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi. So when Vishwarupa, the elder brother of Nimai, Vishwambara, took sannyas, so then of course both the Brahmanis, like they became like upset or like unhappy. Then they are looking at Nimai, remaining son. He is our life and soul. So then the Brahmanas, they came, like everybody was praising Nimai. That, oh, Jagannath Mishra, you are so fortunate to get a blessed son like him. He is such a great scholar. Very soon he will be the best scholar of all the Vedic scriptures. So hearing that, Mother Sachi became so happy. But Jagannath Mishra wasn't happy. He thought that same thing happened with Vishwarupa. He was also a great scholar. And he read all the Shastras and he realized the futility, the faultiness of material samsara, and he took sannyas. Same thing will happen with this boy also. If he reads all the Shastras, he becomes Pandit. So let him stop his studies. So, yeah, he made that, he told him just, এই পুত্র সবে দুইজনেরও জীবন ইহারে না দেখিলে দুইজনের মরণ. This boy is life and soul of both of us. If we don't see him, we both will die. অতএব পড়িয়া ইহার কার্য নাই, মূর্খ হইয়া ঘরে মোর রহুক নিমাই. Then no more, like he doesn't need to study anymore, read anymore. Let him become fool and stay at home. I'll provide everything. So then Mother Sachi, what was her reaction? She was saying, শচী বলে মূর্খ পুত্র জীবে ককে মনে, মূর্খের এত কন্যাও না দিবে কোন জনে. She was saying that how will he live his life if he becomes fool and nobody will give their daughter to him? How will he get married? How will he live his life if he remains fool? So then Jagannath Mishra started to reply, Mishra বলে তুমি তো অবোধ বিপ্রসুতা, হর্তা ভর্তা কর্তা কৃষ্ণ সবার রক্ষিতা. You are abodha, you are a foolish Brahmana lady. You are a Brahmana's daughter. Viprasuta, daughter of a Brahmana. How can you speak such foolish talk? Harta korta bharta. Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the protector, and Krishna is the one who can, if he wants, he can take away everything. Harta, he can take away everything. Korta, he is the maintainer, and bharta, he is the protector. Shavara Rakhita, he is the protector of everyone. Jagoto palon kore jagotero nath, panditte poshoye keba kohilo tomak. The whole world is maintained by the Lord of the universe, Krishna. And who told you this? Who gave you this misconception that the world is maintained or everybody is maintained by scholarship? Who told you this? A scholarship can maintain someone? No. সাক্ষাতে এই কেন না দেখো আমাত, পড়িয়াও আমার ঘরে নাহি কেনে ভাত. Just look at me. I have studied so much. I am a great scholar. Jagannath Mishra, one of the great scholar of Navadvipa. He said, look at me, I am the scholar. But still, I don't have rice at my house, rice at my home. I am so poor. So what's the use of my scholarship? পড়িয়াও আমার ঘরে নাহি কেনে ভাত. I don't have, like, Jagannath Mishra was poor Brahmana. We see during the birth of Mahaprabhu that all the people came, even Devas came and gifted lots of things to Jagannath Mishra. But Jagannath Mishra, he gave return gifts and gave away everything. He didn't keep anything for him. So that's what is a Brahmana. He did not keep anything. If Jagannath Mishra would keep all of them, he would be the richest man of the world. The demigods came and gave him lots of gifts, but he gave away everything. তো পড়িয়াও আমার ঘরে নাহি কেনে ভাত, ভালো মতো বর্ণ উচ্চারিতেও যে নারে, সহস্র পণ্ডিত গিয়া দেখো তার দ্বারে. One who cannot even pronounce the alphabets nicely, you go and see that, you will find that thousands of scholars are sitting at his doorstep. That's what we can see now. Many big institutions or universities, colleges, and PhDs are, scholars are, professors are working there. And the college is founded by some rich businessman who is not uneducated, who is not educated, who is not educated, and he is funding them and he is giving them money. So that's what is the nature. So then he said that this is the nature. বিদ্যাকুল আদি উপলক্ষণ সকল, কৃষ্ণ সে সবার করেন পালন পোষণ পালন. Vidya, great scholarship and great riches and money, all these things are excuses, instruments, but actually Krishna is the main one who is maintaining everyone. Then he said a nice verse, anayasena maranam vina dukkhena jivanam anaradhita govinda, that অনায়াসে মরণ জীবন দৈন্য বিনে কৃষ্ণ সেবিলেশে হয় নহে বিদ্যাধনে. If you want life without poverty or life without miseries, and if you want a death without much difficulty, that can happen by serving Krishna. That's what Jagannath Mishra is saying. Anayasena maranam vina dukkhena jivanam. Jivan, life without dukkha, without miseries, and death without like much difficulty, just die. So that's what one can get achieved by serving Krishna. যার ঘরে আছয় উত্তম উপভোগ, তারে কৃষ্ণ দিয়াছেন কোন মহারোগ. You go and see that one who has lots of amenities, facilities, lots of stuffs to enjoy at his house, lots, a rich man, you will go and find. Krishna দিয়াছেন কোন মহারোগ, he has got some great disease. কিছু বিলসিতে নারে দুঃখে পুরি মরে, he cannot enjoy anything and he like suffers endlessly. তো যার নাহি তাহা হইতে দুঃখী বলিতারে. One who does not have anything, okay, understood, but one who has everything but cannot enjoy, he is more suffering than the person who does not have anything. We do not have to worry. যাবৎ শরীরে প্রাণ আছয় আমার, তাবৎ তিলেক দুঃখ নাহি ইহার. As long as I have life in my body, I promise that he will not get any sufferings. And that too, you are pativrata. You are pativrata. So what? So that's why my son does not require to study anything. Just be a fool. So whatever. So this section nicely says that how we can depend on Krishna. And Krishna can provide everything. He is the master of all the yogis. So anything is required, Krishna can provide. We just need to do anannas chintayanto mam, and then Krishna will give yogam kshemam vahamyaham. So this purport talks various things, this shloka. So we can pray to Krishna. Madan Mohan, who can save us from Madan or Kamadev, lust and desire to enjoy. That's why Sambandha Vidaya Prayojana. Madan Mohan, Govinda Dev and Gopinath. So Madan Mohan is Sambandha who will. So mainly we are like, we forgot our own self. We forgot Sambandha Gyan because we are enamored by lust, desire to enjoy. So Madan Mohan will uncover that lust, he will destroy that lust in our heart, and he will rebuild the Sambandha Gyan in our heart. We should pray to him. And then Govinda Dev, who is, Govinda means who is master of senses, enjoy, like gives enjoyment to senses. So Govinda Dev, he will engage our senses in Bhakti Yoga, Abhidaya, and Gopinath, master of the gopis, he will give us love of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any corrections, comments? We have 1 minute.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for Hare Krishna. One small correction. You told that Sustu-nishtipanuncha, splitting, that is told by Yamunacharya, not
Yes, sorry, Yamunacharya.
And one question in Prabhupada, that what is the real beauty? Real beauty is the raised breast of a woman or the moral character, or nice devotional character of a woman? What is the real beauty of a woman?
This is a question. Can you ask your question again?
What is the real beauty of a woman? Raised breast or the moral character or nice devotional character?
What is the real beauty of a woman? Raised breast or moral character, devotional character? So yeah, we understand that your question itself has answer. Okay. Yeah. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.